So I have a childhood history of trauma and abuse. And there was a period of time when I left my parents' household and I was a single adult living by myself. And during those couple of years, I experienced what freedom felt like. And I was able to become who I really was in the absence of trying to live up to somebody else's expectations. That period of time was very short because I ended up eventually meeting the person that I would enter into a nearly 2 decade long relationship with that was extremely toxic and abusive. So I would say a couple of months after I ended that relationship, I was beginning my healing journey and trying to regain my equilibrium after that very long, very tumultuous relationship. And somebody asked me a question that literally brought me to tears. And it was a simple question. All they asked me was, "What do you want to watch on TV?" And I was stuck on stupid. I had no idea what I wanted to watch. I couldn't remember for the life of me shows I used to like to watch, movies that looked interesting to me. My mind was blank. And it was in that very simple moment that the crushing realization that I had completely erased myself came to light. And I cried because I genuinely had no idea who I was. And that prompted me to really begin my journey of figuring out who the hell I am in the absence of other people's expectations, in the absence of judgment, in the absence of abuse. When it is just me, who am I? And I got out my journal and I wrote on top of the page, who was I before? Because in remembering who we were before the trauma happened, it can act as a guidepost in rediscovering who you are. And I want to read to you what came out when I wrote that. I was funny. I made people laugh with observations and witty remarks. I didn't take myself too seriously. I was curious. I read widely, asked questions, wanted to understand how things worked and why people did what they did. I loved being outside, hiking, swimming, just sitting under trees and watching clouds move across the sky. I was creative. I wrote stories and poems that were just for me without worrying if they were good or important enough to matter. I painted and made jewelry. I was physically brave. I climbed rocks, jumped from high places into water. I was kind to people who were struggling. I could see others' pain and didn't turn away from it. I liked spicy